All right, welcome to AI Verdict, the show where we get our hands on the latest AI tools to see if they actually live up to all the hype. Today, we are diving deep into Grok 4.1. We've spent weeks pushing this thing to its limits, and now we've got the full breakdown of what it can do and, maybe more importantly, what it can't.
So, let's get right to it. The big question on everyone's mind is this: can Grok really hang with the heavyweights like ChatGPT and Gemini? I mean, is it a serious contender in the AI space, or is it just kind of a novelty act? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out.
And just so you know, we're not just going to give you a simple review here. In this explainer, we're going to break down what actually makes Grok different, and I'm going to give you a practical playbook so you can master its most powerful features. So, let's dive in. Okay, so right out of the gate, Grok has two things that really set it apart from the competition. And we're not talking about small incremental updates here. These are features that fundamentally change how you can use an AI for creating content and, for doing research. And this right here, this is the core of Grok's first major advantage, where it gets its information. See, most AIs are trained on older, static data. They're basically stuck in the past. But Grok? It's plugged directly into the live, real-time feed of X. For anyone who needs to be on top of breaking news or current trends, this is an absolute game changer.
And its second advantage? It's all about personality. Grok is actually designed to be witty, a little bit rebellious, and genuinely creative. What that means is, the stuff it writes often feels more human, and a lot less like a generic robotic AI that's just trying to sound helpful. It avoids that bland, formulaic tone we've all seen a million times.
Okay, so Grok has some seriously powerful features, but here's the thing. A tool like this is only as good as you are at using it. Seriously, the difference between getting a kind of mediocre result and an absolutely amazing one, it almost always comes down to the quality of your prompt.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got this lazy, super vague prompt. And what you get back is, well, it's pretty generic and useless. But on the right, we give it context. We tell it the audience. We give it a purpose. It's like briefing a professional writer instead of just yelling an idea into a room. The difference in quality is night and day. Specificity wins every single time.
So let me give you a simple framework that works every time. First, define your audience. Who is this for? Second, state your purpose. What is the actual goal here? And third, set the tone. Do you want it to sound like a formal academic or a sarcastic sci-fi AI? Answering these three questions right in your prompt will guide Grok to a much better result.
All right. So good prompts are one thing. But to really master Grok, you gotta know which tool to pull out of the toolkit for the right job. It has several specialized modes, and picking the right one is absolutely key to getting what you want without wasting a bunch of time.
Here's a quick breakdown for you. Fast mode, that's your go-to for quick answers and simple first drafts. Think mode is what you use for deep, creative brainstorming, or when you need to do some complex analysis. In deep search mode, this one is absolutely essential for research because it actively scans X and other web articles for the freshest data it can find. And you have to remember this, okay? Your first shot, it's almost never going to be perfect. You have to treat this like a conversation. Get a first draft and then refine it. Give it follow-up commands. This back and forth, this process of iteration, is how you steer the AI to the exact result you're looking for. Okay, now for something I'm really excited about. Grok has a new image generation model called Aurora, and honestly, it has this one special skill that makes it a total game changer, especially for creators.
And what is that? It's getting accurate text inside of images. Now, if you've used any other AI image tools, you know what a nightmare this is. They almost always mess up text, turning it into some kind of weird, unreadable gibberish. Aurora actually gets it right. And that's perfect for making memes, social media graphics, comics, you name it.
But what's really slick is the workflow itself. You can create photorealistic images, you can generate multi-panel comics, and you can even upload your own photos and have Grok add text directly onto them. For content creators, this is huge. It saves a ton of time by keeping everything in one place instead of forcing you to jump between 5 different tools. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about research. Because that real-time connection to X, it's a superpower, for sure. But it can also be a pretty big pitfall if you're not careful. It's a double-edged sword. And look, we need to be really upfront about this. Because Grok pulls from the live, often unverified stream of social media, it can sometimes make more factual errors than other AIs. It can hallucinate, which is just a fancy way of saying the AI makes stuff up, and you need to be aware of that. But don't worry, there are ways to manage this risk.
Think of this as your fact-checking toolkit. For anything important, always use deep search mode to filter for more verified information. You can also explicitly command it to cite its sources. And finally, for anything mission-critical, you have to verify the key facts yourself.
So, what's the bottom line here? It's simple. Use Grok as your research assistant, not your sole source of truth. It is brilliant for finding new angles and getting the gist of current discussions, but it should always be your starting point, never your final answer.
So, after weeks of testing, what's the final verdict? Is Grok 4.1 the right tool for you? Let's bring it all together and figure it out.
Look, Grok isn't going to beat other AIs at everything, but where it shines, it really shines. It excels in 3 specific areas: that real-time data access, its creative personality, and that superior image-to-text generation. This combination makes it a uniquely powerful tool, especially if you're a creator.
And if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. The gap between getting amazing results and mediocre ones, it isn't the tool, it's how you use it. Your ability to write a clear, specific, detailed prompt is what unlocks the AI's true potential. With its unique mix of real-time data, a rebellious personality, and some seriously powerful image tools, Grok is a versatile secret weapon just waiting for someone to master it. So the only question left is, how are you going to use it?